17.
My name is Azza. I'm 17 years old. I'm graduating this year.
I'm Yara Shahidi. I am currently 18. I am an actress, and my goal is to work in the nonprofit think tank space after I graduate from college.
Hi, I'm Maya Almantar Matthews. I'm about to be president of the junior class at Immaculate Heart High School, and I'm also a member of the Black Student Association there.
I'm still working on accepting myself, but definitely, I don't know, I think that it helps if you think that everyone else, like if you don't judge other people, and you don't see other things wrong with people, like it's hard to find a ton of stuff wrong with you. Like if you kind of accept everyone, then you can learn to accept yourself, so, because everyone's got stuff going on, you know.
I've come to accept myself, I guess, over time. When I was really little and I didn't really watch like TV, like Disney Channel or anything, I accepted myself because that's all I knew, like it was normal to me. And when I started going to school and, you know, watching more shows, like I realized that like other people were different, and people would favor like those people who, you know, like had like long straight hair or whatever. So then I sort of got like a little weird with myself, like I didn't really accept myself. And then as I got older and got more knowledge about like what the world actually is and started coming up with my own ideas of how the world works, I've completely accepted myself now.
My backstory, I'd have to say I'm half Iranian, half black. Baba born in Mashhad, Iran. Mama from Madison, Wisconsin. Grandfather, Black Panther. Head of school board, really active in our community, and come from a lineage of educators, especially on my mama's side. So my great-grandfather, who got his master's behind a curtain to then end up teaching special ed to kids. And that really informed my growing up, in that my parents were really intentional in the environments I was in, and in this idea of like as many barriers as they could disintegrate by being intentional, they tried to.
While I was growing up, I was always enveloped with a lot of awareness about my culture, because my dad grew up in South Central LA and had always been confronted with different racial issues. So he really wanted me to be aware of like what it is to be black in America, in society, what it is to be proud of your culture, to be aware of prejudice and discrimination.
I think that what helped is when I was in like 6th grade, people used to call me a slut. So I found feminism, and so when I found feminism, I found like a ton of other girls who looked so many different ways, and like just like a variety of different people, not just girls, but a variety of people. A variety of different people, and I guess like hearing them talk about accepting yourself and like seeing so many different people, because I've always thought that everyone is beautiful, but I didn't really ever see it in myself. But I think it definitely helps.
I'd say my mom, probably like 50-50 between my mom and myself. My mom, because she's always reminded me that I'm beautiful, and she's always showed that she thinks that I'm a beautiful person, like inside and out. And you know, and especially recently, like she really like makes sure that we know that you know, like being natural is beautiful, and it is pretty, and it is like the look, you know, like there's no such thing as like normal.
Again, it goes back to my parents. I feel like I had the privilege of just coming from a family that's so proud of who they are, that I really had representation. I did not watch much TV growing up. I still don't. And so the representation that I had in front of me was just outstanding, because it was turning to aunties who were professors, and turning to musicians who were cousins of mine, and having that kind of family to turn to, in which they were doing any and all things they wanted to do. And of course they worked 120% and really invested their time and life's energy into this, but I really grew up with this idea of just like the sky's the limit.
I would definitely say my mother, she, from a very young age, she always told me that not only am I beautiful, but I'm smart, I'm independent, I'm confident, and I need to be able to express it to the world. Especially when I was little, I was very, very shy, very like inward in myself. So she really wanted me to be able to be confident, to be able to be proud of who I am, to be able to be just let the world know that I am beautiful, that I am confident, that my true self is great.
I did not see any other girls that looked like me, so I did not want to look like me. I wanted to look like, let's see, I don't know, I wanted to have lighter skin. I wanted to have, like, I mean, my hair is straight right now, but like, I didn't like my hair because my hair is naturally curly. And so I didn't really like my hair because I just didn't see many girls that looked like me, so I thought there was something wrong with me.
Well, I think they definitely affected them because I would watch like Disney Channel. I'd watch like more adult romantic movies when I was younger. And you know, most of the shows I watched were made with like predominantly like white people and like white, like beautiful thin women who have like straight hair and like fair skin and like blue eyes. And you know, they're always in favor of the guy. You know, they always get the guy in those like romance movies, or like television, like Disney Channel and stuff. I remember watching That's So Raven, and that was like the only Disney Channel show with like a black main character. And even like That's So Raven, like she was light skinned, she had green eyes, like she wore her hair straight a lot of the time, or like wore a weave. So you know, that's how I thought that you could be pretty.
Well, like I said before, I didn't watch much TV or movies. I watched an hour of TV on Saturday, and it was HBO Crashbox and Fairy Tales for Every Child, Happily Ever After. And so it was this iconic, like, redoing Rumpelstiltskin and all these iconic fairy tales that are usually portrayed as European, but featuring actors of color and featuring like really well-known actors from Chris Rock to Whoopi Goldberg and everybody in between. So that was the kind of media that I took in, or Time Warp Trio, which was about 3 kids traveling through history, and that's when I learned about Queen and Zynga. And so the media that I watched was really intentional on behalf of my parents, and again went into this idea of like, this is what life is supposed to look like and supposed to be like, and this diverse, inclusive community should just be our second nature.
Well, I remember when I was younger, just not liking them, but I just did not like Disney princesses that much. And as I got older, I started to realize that when I was younger, all I saw were these like beautiful, fair-skinned, light-eyed princesses that I couldn't relate to. I couldn't see myself in them, and I felt that I wasn't being fully represented. And still today, there is a lack of representation for African American women, and if there is representation, it's that they are loud, they're rude, they're catty, they are angry all the time.
I struggle a lot with my appearance. Like, I struggle a lot with like I want to be perfect all the time, like in my head, and like I struggle with body dysmorphia. So like ever since I was like super little, like I could remember just always looking in the mirror and like not seeing what like I want to see, or not seeing what other people maybe see, because like I would have people tell me like all these things, but like I would like see myself as the opposite.
Something I still have a hard time accepting would be my voice, I guess, because like growing up, like I'd always be called like whitewashed by my family because I'd have a lot of white friends, or the way I talk isn't like how like normal black people talk, you know.
Well, I've gone through my process of curl acceptance. I'm now almost approaching year 3 of no heat in my hair, and that was just a personal journey I had to go through because I was using a lot of heat in my hair, which meant that when I was going back to curly, I had a lot of heat damage, and that messed with my image of myself, and I felt as though like I was less myself when I didn't have my curls. And so that's something that I've worked through. And I think actively right now, I'm actively working through just acceptance with my skin, because just being a teenager, my skin goes through so many changes. And so I'll get acne, or I'll lose the color in my face really quickly. It was so interesting because I was looking at younger pictures of myself and I was just much browner as a kid. But because it sounds really funny, but because I've been working inside, I feel like Casper the Friendly Ghost. And so that's always something where when I'm dealing with skin issues, or just how I look at that moment, I always feel just less of myself.
I think something that I still struggle with is that even though I know that I am beautiful and that being black makes me who I am and makes me as beautiful as I am, some days I don't feel that way. Some days I'll be walking down the street, or I go to a primarily white school, and I just feel kind of small, kind of alone, and that not that I don't matter, but something in me just feels like I'm not beautiful in that moment. Or maybe because of my skin color, because of like who I am, like my friends who are white are more pretty, or there's just this idea that's been rooted into my head because of the society we live in, that sometimes I just can't get out of my head.
So basically who I am inside, because I didn't really like what I was seeing outside, so I had I don't know, just like my traits, I guess. Like I liked the things that I liked, and it made me, like, things made me happy like that, or like other people make me happy. So I guess like I'm a very loving person, so I guess that is like my favorite thing about myself.
The easiest thing to accept about myself was probably my face and my hair, because my hair is not particularly like the stereotypical like black woman's hair, so that was kind of easy because you don't get a lot of hate, which is ridiculous. But also my nose is like wide, but I like it. I think it's cute.
The easiest thing, again, all goes back to curls. I feel like curls were nice because, one, like in my family alone, there's so much curl diversity, and me having 3C hair, and my mama having 4B, 4C hair, and my brother having 3A hair. And so it really begged this larger conversation of just knowing about curly hair and knowing about us and knowing how the different variation in hair and having a deep appreciation for all hair.
I'd have to say that now I am really embracing my African features and curves. I know that in middle school I was really the only black girl there. There may be a couple other black students, but I was getting a lot of like criticism about my pronounced butt or different features that I had because I am black. And I remember feeling so horrible about my butt in particular. But as I grew older, it's something that I just took pride in, that I love, and that I'm proud of. And I do have these African features, and they do make me beautiful. And I'm so proud to just be a part of the culture.
Powerful.
Black women are human beings, beautiful human beings, like everyone else. We're not some sort of creatures. We're not out of the ordinary. We're not like unusual to see. We're normal, gorgeous human beings.
Black women are revolutionaries in that our very presence is breaking down barriers, and our perseverance is breaking down barriers, whether it is on a personal scale or a very public one.
Black women are African goddesses. Black women should be respected. They should be confident in themselves because they are beautiful, and they should be proud of their culture and proud of being the amazing women that they are.